Top 3 food swaps to instantly improve joint health and reduce inflammation naturally. Have you ever wondered why your joints feel stiff, achy, or swollen, even on days when you haven't done much? The truth is, what you put on your plate every single day has a huge impact on how your joints feel and move. Food can either fuel inflammation, making pain worse, or it can calm it down, giving you more freedom and comfort in your body. And the best part? You don't need to completely change your diet overnight. Sometimes, it's as simple as making small swaps, choosing one food over another that can instantly start improving your joint health. Today, I want to share with you 3 of the most powerful food swaps you can make, starting right now, to help reduce inflammation, protect your cartilage, and support your joints for years to come. Number 1. Swap sugary drinks for green tea. Let's talk about one of the simplest yet most powerful changes you can make for your joints, saying goodbye to those sugary drinks and welcoming in green tea. Now, I know how tempting a cold soda, a sweetened juice, or even an energy drink can be, especially on a hot day or when you need a quick pick-me-up. But here's the thing. Those sugary drinks are silently working against your joints. They may give you a short burst of energy, but in the long run, they add fuel to the fire of inflammation that makes your joints stiff, achy, and less flexible. When you pour a glass of soda, you're not just getting sweetness. You're loading up on sugar that spikes your blood sugar levels and encourages your body to produce inflammatory chemicals. And if you've been living with joint pain, you already know how even the smallest increase in inflammation can make walking, bending, or climbing stairs feel heavier than it should. Every sip of soda, sweetened tea, and sugary drinks, or artificially flavored juice is like a little whisper to your joints that says, "I'm not on your side." Now imagine swapping that for a warm or cold cup of green tea. Right away, your joints breathe a sigh of relief. Green tea isn't just a refreshing drink. It's loaded with antioxidants, especially a powerful compound called EGCG, which scientists have found to be a strong protector of cartilage and connective tissues. Think of it like sending a team of little firefighters into your body, calming down the flames of inflammation that have been causing all that discomfort. And here's what's amazing. Green tea doesn't just stop at reducing inflammation. It also helps slow down the breakdown of cartilage, the cushioning material that makes your movements smooth and pain-free. That means, over time, it's not only helping with stiffness, but actually protecting your joints from future wear and tear. Can you see how powerful that simple swap really is? Now you might be wondering, but what if I really crave something sweet or fizzy? That's normal. Breaking away from sugary drinks isn't always easy. But here's a little secret. Green tea can be as versatile as you want it to be. You can brew it hot in the morning with a squeeze of lemon and maybe even a dash of honey if you want a gentle sweetness. Or you can let it chill in the fridge and enjoy it as iced green tea, refreshing and light without the sugar crash. You can even add mint leaves, cucumber slices, or a few berries to make it feel like a naturally flavored spa drink. It satisfies the craving, but instead of hurting your joints, it's actually nourishing them. I want you to picture this for a second. Imagine yourself a few weeks from now, after consistently swapping out your sodas or sweetened drinks for green tea. At first, maybe you just feel a little less sluggish during the day. Then, your energy feels smoother, without that sudden crash after a sugar rush. And slowly, those aches in your knees or fingers feel less sharp. You realize you can get up from a chair more easily, or you're moving through your day without that heavy stiffness you used to carry. That's the quiet magic of replacing inflammation-fueling habits with healing ones. It doesn't happen overnight, but it builds and builds, giving your body the chance to repair and thrive. There's also something deeply comforting about green tea itself. Taking a moment to sip it slowly, whether hot or iced, becomes more than just a drink. It's a ritual. A pause in your day where you're not just refreshing your thirst, but sending your body the message, I care about you. I'm choosing something that supports you. That simple act, repeated daily, has a way of reshaping how you feel in your body. Now, I want you to think back to the last time you had a sugar crash. Maybe you felt jittery for a while, then tired, then maybe even a little more achy in your joints. Compare that with the feeling of calm alertness you get from green tea. The gentle caffeine in it helps you stay awake and focused, but without the spikes and crashes of sugary energy drinks. And that calm energy carries over into how your body feels. Less stress on your system, less inflammation, and ultimately, less pressure on your joints. And don't worry, if plain green tea isn't your favorite right away, give yourself time. Sometimes your taste buds just need a little space to adjust. You can try flavored varieties, like jasmine green tea or matcha. Matcha, in particular, is a vibrant green tea powder that gives you the full benefit of the tea leaves, even more antioxidants, and a smooth, almost creamy taste. Many people find it a fun and energizing alternative. So here's the challenge I want to leave you with today. Pick one sugary drink that you usually have in your day, whether it's soda, sweet tea, or bottled juice, and replace it with a cup of green tea. Just one. Try it for a week. Notice how your body feels, not just in your joints, but in your overall energy, your mood, and your focus. I can almost guarantee you'll start to notice a difference. And once you do, you'll want to keep going. Because every time you choose green tea over a sugary drink, you're making a decision that directly supports your joints, your energy, and your long-term health. It's such a small step, but small steps add up to big transformations. So the next time you're thirsty and thinking of grabbing that soda or juice box, pause for a moment. Ask yourself, do I want to fuel inflammation or do I want to calm it? And then reach for that cup of green tea. Your joints will thank you, day after day, sip after sip. Number 2, swap white bread for whole grains. If you've ever bitten into a warm slice of white bread or a fluffy roll, you know just how comforting it can feel. It's soft, it's familiar, and it's often the first thing we reach for when we want something quick and satisfying. But here's the truth that many people don't realize. Those refined white breads, pastas, and other processed carbs are not doing your joints any favors. In fact, they could be one of the sneaky culprits behind the swelling, stiffness, and aching you feel. You see, refined carbs like white bread are made from grains that had been stripped of their fiber and nutrients. What's left is basically sugar in disguise. The moment you eat it, your blood sugar spikes, and with that spike comes inflammation. And if there's one thing your joints absolutely do not need more of, it's inflammation. Think of your joints as hinges on a door. When they're well-oiled, smooth, and cared for, the door opens effortlessly. But when they're rusty or inflamed, every movement feels strained. Eating a lot of white bread and refined carbs is like pouring sand into those hinges instead of oil. It creates more friction, more irritation, and more pain. Now let's imagine making a different choice. Instead of white bread, you reach for whole grain bread, or maybe oats in the morning, or quinoa with your dinner. Whole grains are the real deal. They keep the fiber, the vitamins, and the minerals that nature packed into them. And that fiber? It's your secret weapon. Fiber helps regulate your blood sugar, which means no sudden spikes that trigger inflammation. It also helps feed your gut bacteria. And when your gut is healthy, your entire body, including your joints, feels the difference. Whole grains are also packed with magnesium, which is an essential mineral for joint health. Magnesium helps your muscles relax, reduces cramps, and plays a role in controlling inflammation. It's like giving your joints a soothing, protective hug every time you choose brown rice over white rice or whole grain pasta instead of the refined version. And here's something fascinating. People who eat more whole grains tend to report less stiffness in the morning and better mobility overall. Why? Because whole grains work quietly in the background, lowering levels of C-reactive protein, a marker of inflammation in the body. So with every bite of oatmeal, barley, or whole wheat bread, you're actually helping to turn down the volume on joint pain. I know what you might be thinking, but white bread tastes so good. And I hear you. Habits, especially food habits, are tied to comfort and nostalgia. But the beautiful thing about whole grains is that they can be just as comforting once you give them a chance. A slice of toasted whole grain bread with avocado, a bowl of oatmeal topped with berries and nuts, or even a hearty quinoa salad can be deeply satisfying while actually supporting your joints instead of hurting them. Let's paint a little picture. Imagine you usually start your day with white toast and jam. By mid-morning, you're already hungry again, maybe even a little achy in your joints, because your blood sugar spiked and then crashed. Now, imagine you start your day with a warm bowl of oatmeal, topped with chia seeds, walnuts, and blueberries. You feel fuller, longer. Your energy is steady. And your joints? They're calmer, because you've given your body foods that fight inflammation instead of fueling it. That's the power of a simple swap. And remember, this isn't about depriving yourself. It's about upgrading. Every time you swap refined carbs for whole grains, you're choosing foods that are richer, more nourishing, and more supportive of the life you want to live. You're not just eating for the moment. You're eating for your future mobility, your independence, and your comfort. Here's a little tip. If switching feels overwhelming, don't try to change everything at once. Start small. Replace just one serving of refined carbs each day with a whole grain option. Maybe it's swapping your sandwich bread for whole grain bread. Maybe it's cooking brown rice instead of white rice for dinner. These tiny changes add up, and before you know it, you'll start to notice that your joints feel lighter, your movements smoother, and your energy more stable throughout the day. And one more thing, whole grains can be delicious when prepared well. Add cinnamon and apples to oatmeal. Stir herbs and olive oil into quinoa, or toast whole grain bread and top it with almond butter. These are little ways to bring joy and variety into your meals while keeping your joints in mind. So the next time you're at the store, pause for a moment in the bread or grain aisle. Look past the fluffy white loaves and polished rice, and instead reach for the hearty whole grain options. Think of it not as giving something up, but as giving your body a gift of smoother movement, reduced stiffness, and stronger joints for years to come. Because every time you choose whole grains, you're saying yes to health, yes to energy, and yes to a future where your joints support you in doing the things you love most. And that, my friend, is a swap worth making. Number 3, swap red or processed meats for fatty fish. Now let's dive into one of the most powerful changes you can make for your joints. Swapping out red or processed meats and replacing them with fatty fish. If you're someone who loves a good steak, burger, or sausage, I completely understand the attachment. These foods are hearty, satisfying, and often tied to tradition or comfort. But here's the truth we can't ignore. Red meats, and especially processed meats like bacon, sausages, hot dogs, or deli slices, are loaded with compounds that stoke the fire of inflammation in your body. And if your joints are already feeling achy, stiff, or swollen, those foods are only adding fuel to the problem. Here's why. Red and processed meats are often high in saturated fats, which can increase inflammatory markers in the body. They also contain advanced glycation end products, compounds formed when meats are cooked at high temperatures, like grilling or frying. These compounds act like tiny sparks, irritating your tissues, breaking down cartilage, and making your joints more sensitive. And processed meats go even further. They're often packed with preservatives, additives, and excess salt, which can trigger water retention and swelling in the joints. Now think about how you feel after a heavy meal of steak and fries, or a plate of sausages. Maybe at first it's delicious and satisfying, but later you notice your body feels sluggish, heavy, maybe even more inflamed. That's not a coincidence. That's your joints trying to tell you something. Now let's imagine flipping the script. Instead of filling your plate with red or processed meats, you choose fatty fish like salmon, sardines, mackerel, or tuna. The difference this simple swap can make is almost unbelievable. Fatty fish are rich in omega-3 fatty acids, one of nature's most powerful anti-inflammatories. Think of omega-3s as a soothing balm for your joints. They reduce the production of inflammatory chemicals, calm down stiffness, and even help improve joint lubrication, so movements feel smoother and easier. But it doesn't stop there. Omega-3s also help slow down the breakdown of cartilage, that cushiony layer that protects your bones from grinding against each other. By protecting cartilage, fatty fish give your joints more resilience and longevity. That means less pain today, but also more freedom and mobility in the years to come. Let's pause and imagine a real-life example. Suppose you have arthritis in your knees and you often wake up with stiffness. After months of eating a lot of processed meats, your body feels heavy and achy. But then you start replacing 2 or 3 of those meals a week with baked salmon, grilled mackerel, or a sardine salad. Within weeks, you start to notice mornings feel different. You're not as stiff, walking feels easier, and the heaviness in your knees begins to lift. That's the quiet but powerful effect of omega-3s working behind the scenes. And here's the beauty of fatty fish. It's not just healing, it's delicious and versatile. You can enjoy salmon baked with lemon and herbs, sardines on whole grain toast with a squeeze of fresh lime, or a tuna salad with olive oil and vegetables. These meals don't just nourish your joints, they excite your taste buds too. And unlike processed meats that often leave you feeling bloated or weighed down, fatty fish leaves you feeling light, energized, and satisfied. Some people worry about cooking fish, thinking it's too complicated. But the truth is, it's one of the easiest proteins to prepare. A piece of salmon only needs 12 to 15 minutes in the oven, with olive oil, garlic, and lemon to taste incredible. Sardines? They come ready to eat, straight from the can. Mackerel? Delicious on the grill with some fresh herbs. It doesn't take much effort, but the reward for your joints is massive. Now, if you're thinking, but I don't want to give up red meat completely, here's some good news. You don't have to. This isn't about never having a steak again. It's about balance. The key is to reduce how often you rely on red or processed meats, and to increase how often you enjoy fatty fish. Even replacing just 2 red meat meals per week with fish can start to make a real difference in your inflammation levels and how your joints feel. And if you're vegetarian or don't like fish, there are still options. Plant-based sources of omega-3s, like flax seeds, chia seeds, walnuts, and algae oil, can provide similar benefits. But if you do enjoy fish, it's one of the richest, most direct ways to flood your body with those joint-healing fats. Think of it this way. Every time you sit down to eat, you're either feeding inflammation or fighting it. A hot dog? That's feeding inflammation. A grilled salmon fillet? That's fighting it. And over time, these choices stack up. One meal may not change everything, but dozens of meals, week after week, can transform how your joints feel and how your body moves. And let's not forget, omega-3s don't just help your joints. They're also incredible for your heart, your brain, and even your mood. So by swapping processed meats for fatty fish, you're not just improving your joint health, you're improving your whole life. Your heart beats stronger, your mind feels clearer, and your energy becomes steadier. It's like one swap ripples out into every part of your health. So here's a simple challenge. This week, choose one meal where you'd normally have red or processed meat and swap it for fatty fish. Maybe instead of sausage for breakfast, you try a smoked salmon omelet. Instead of a steak for dinner, you try baked salmon with quinoa and veggies. Start small, but stay consistent. Your joints will notice the difference, because every bite you take is either moving you closer to pain or closer to freedom. And when you choose fatty fish, you're choosing freedom. Freedom to move, freedom to bend, freedom to live with less pain and more joy. That's the power of this swap. It's simple, it's delicious, and it's one of the best gifts you can give your joints. Summary. So let's take a quick moment to bring it all together. We talked about how powerful small changes can be for your joints. Swapping sugary drinks for soothing green tea, choosing whole grains over white bread, and replacing red or processed meats with fatty fish. These aren't massive, overwhelming changes. They're simple, doable swaps that anyone can start making today. And when you do, you're not just eating healthier, you're actively calming inflammation, protecting your cartilage, and giving your joints the chance to move freely and comfortably again. Imagine what your life could feel like if stiffness wasn't holding you back. If walking, bending, or even just waking up in the morning felt lighter and easier. That's the gift these little choices bring. It's not about perfection, it's about progress. Every sip of green tea, every slice of whole grain bread, every bite of salmon instead of sausage is a step closer to stronger, healthier joints. So here's my encouragement to you. Don't wait until the pain gets worse to take action. Start with one swap today, just one, and notice how your body responds. Over time, those small choices will stack up into big transformations, not only in your joints, but in your overall energy, mood, and quality of life. Remember, your body is always listening to the choices you make. And right now, you have the power to tell it. I care about you. I'm ready to support you, and I'm choosing health. Your joints will thank you for it, not just today, but for years to come.